Oh, wow. Okay, we might have to cut that out. Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, I've got to give a huge shout out to Dennis. Dennis invited me to his beautiful home for my first ever bourbon meetup bottle share. And I've got to give another shout out to Doug. Had it not been for me and Doug standing in line in an ABC store drop and just exchanging information, I would have never been able to experience something like this. So Doug, shout out to you. Dennis, once again, man, thank you. Shout out to you. Dennis has an amazing collection. I mean, it is ridiculous, and a lot of stuff comes from 925. He is a huge fan of 925 picks, and I'll tell you why in a second. First of all, I've got to get into the fact that it was a star-studded night. We had Marcus, the bourbon judge, there. We had Hunter, the bourbon hunter, was there. Chris from Bourbon Retriever. We had Neat Bourbon with Tanner. It was like 4 other channels. It was supposed to be more. Some things happened where, they just weren't able to show up. But man, the people that showed up and just the normal everyday people, man, that I had conversation with, I bumped into. I mean, it was a great experience. Dennis, I can't thank you enough. Got my new Bourbon Hunter Glen from Bourbon Hunter. I actually left the Glen. I need to start getting some of those wee Glens, but I actually left the Glen. But the reason why I decided to do this video is because I was about to put these bottles away. And I said, you know what? That would make a great video. That would make great content. You guys love to interact and tell me in the comments what type of bottles that you have, what you're sampling right now. So put in the comments the bottles that you take to your bottle shares and your bourbon meetups, because I do want to know. And I've got a few reasons why I took most of these bottles. So I decided to bring 6. Dennis said you don't have to bring anything, which he was right. He's got more than I could. I mean, it was just ridiculous. The amount was just crazy. But anyway, let's get into my bag. No, before we do that, I want to get into some of the pours that I had that were amazing. And you guys were so right about the Rick House, because that was the first pour of the night for me. I get into the spot, I see all of the bottles lined up, I put my bag down, and I see that they have the Rick House proof, and I was like, oh, I gotta get that in glass. They also had the soft red wheat, but I never got a chance to get back around to that bottle, man. So I am eventually going to get myself a pour of that. Somebody had one of the bourbon junkies, I think it was called Essence, the Virtue Spirits. I think it was Essence. It was 59 ABV, so it came right in at 118. It was delicious. I was like, wow, this stuff right here. It was a single barrel, I think it was a Kentucky straight bourbon. It was a single barrel, definitely. But it was amazing, man. And then Dennis and I had a conversation about old fits. So I had the old fit 17, but I never had the 19. He's had the 19 and has a bottle of the 19, but he's never had the 17. And he was like, people say that the 19 is better, and I hear some people say that the 17 is better. And I said, I hear the same thing. I said, look, to me, the 17 was one of the best 100 proof old fits that I've had. So when he offered me the chance to sample some 19-year-old fits, I jumped right at it. And I gotta say that, in my opinion, the 17 just edges it out. The 19 is good. I like an oaky note. It wasn't over oaked. It just has some really deep, rich flavors. But to me, the 17 had richer flavors, and it also had like this Dr. Pepper note in it that I was blown away by. So that was the second bottle. But my number one pour of the night, brace yourselves, it was Penelope Rosé Cask. It was a 925 store pick. Shout out to Kevin from 925, man. They did a hell of a job picking that barrel, because I almost had a chance to get it. I was at the store that day. I did some filming. The truck was on its way. It didn't make it back yet. So, it didn't make it to the store yet. So I was like, okay, cool. I said, look, if I'm not that far, he hit me up through Messenger. I said, if I'm not that far, then I'll come back for it. I was already at Big Mouth Liquors by the time that the truck showed up. So I was already down in Waldorf, and I was like, I don't feel like fighting traffic, going back that way and blah, blah, blah. So I just kind of let it be. I am so upset that I never went back and got that bottle. That is how good that bottle is. And shout out to Doug's wife, man. She has a heck of a palate. She sampled it and she was like, yeah, this is good. She was like, this is really good. But anyway, let's get into some of these bottles. So the first bottle on the list, the reason why I decided to take this bottle, this is the Knob Creek 2001 batch 4. This is the limited edition. I took this bottle, and when I took it, it did not make it through the night. When I took it, it was about halfway full. So everyone just seemed to enjoy it. I mean, every time I turned around, I saw the plastic being pulled up and I saw the bottle being, taken out. So everyone just seemed to enjoy it, man. And the reason why I took it is because to me, this is a special occasion pour. To me, I felt like that was a special occasion. I was like, this is my first bourbon meetup. I do want people to experience the same notes that I got when I tasted this thing for the first time. I thought it was amazing, knocked me off my feet. So I wanted to let people experience the same thing because that's what we're all about in the bourbon community. We're about sharing. Sharing is caring. So let's get into the next. So anyway, this is the Ben Holiday. And the reason why I took this Ben Holiday is because I know that they don't get Ben Holiday in Virginia. So I've never seen it at the Virginia ABC store, and I didn't think that they got it at all. Now, when I got there, I don't know who else has been shopping, but somebody had the Rick House, they had the soft red wheat, and they had this one. So I figured by bringing this might be something that maybe since it was in Virginia, it was 2 hours away from me, and I'd do it again. That's how amazing of an experience it was. But anyway, the Ben Holiday, I figured I'd take this bottle just in case somebody never had it, and just because, like I said, they don't get it in Virginia, or at least I never see it at the Virginia ABC. I took this bottle right here because had it not been for the Bourbon Judge, I would have not known anything about this bottle. He recommended this 6-year cask strength, and I was just like, oh my gosh. The first bottle I bought was 130 proof, and it was amazing. But I was scared to get another bottle that was not the exact same from the exact same single barrel. So I was kind of scanning the side to see, because they've got all of the information right here. And I just went ahead and did it because the Virginia ABC had them on clearance and they were going for about 35 bucks, something like that. So I picked up 2, but still an amazing bottle, man. Let's get into the next bottle on the list. So I took this bottle. This is the Barrel Foundation 5-year. The reason why I took it is because it's a new bottle and it's not everywhere yet. So I wanted people to try it to see what they thought. Like I said, I wasn't standing around watching every time somebody made a pour. I was talking to other people, shaking and moving, so to speak. So I wasn't able to really conversate with anybody about this bottle just to get their thoughts on it, because I shot the review already. I did have it down to here. I got it a little past the shoulder when I did the review, and you'll understand why when you watch that review. So they, it seems to have been liked. Let's just say that. This one right here, this is the Riverset Cask Strength Rye. Look, shout out to Shane for helping me acquire the Riverset, the normal 93 proof Riverset, and the Cask Strength. I thought it was a pretty interesting bottle. I like it. This is Blue Note's Rye. Now they changed the label over to just simply Blue Note, but this is the Riverset Rye cask strength. So I thought it was a great bottle. I wanted to take it, get some people's thoughts on it. Like I said, I was moving and shaking. Last bottle up, this is the Larceny A124. Now the reason why I took the Larceny A124 is because I just did the review on it. I did not think that it was that great. I thought that it had a lot of complexity, but it just wasn't blended well. Something was off with it. So I don't know, man. I wanted to get people's thoughts on it, and maybe they felt the same way, because when I took it, I think it was about here, and for this being at a bottle share and being a new bottle and people not to like attack it, I was kind of surprised. So maybe the proof is in the pudding. Maybe somebody, or the proof is in the pour. Maybe somebody poured it, was like, nah, that's not that great, and then word spread. I don't know. But I'll be shooting my next video with my Bourbon Hunter Glenn. Appreciate it once again. And shout out to you, Dennis, once again. I had an amazing time, a great time. Shout out to all the people who were there. Shout out to other YouTube channels. Shout out to Doug, man. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for inviting me. And with that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you head it to a drop. Until next time.